until our southern Cameroon was one of the best democracy in Africa. When our people restored this independence that we had, I want to first make this clear. I've been saying this because if our parents then did not have a good democratic system, no country would have come for our independence. It's because the United Nations saw that, wow, these people have built something. They have a good democracy, they have institution, constitution, they have a parliament, House of Chiefs. Why shouldn't we vote for them? That's why, because country cannot come and sit and be voting for independence. Is that normal? Think of it, what transpired then. Our people were so organized. I still don't understand why we cannot copy that good example. Leaders come together, build something for the common goal of Amazonia. Why all this pride? This one want to be leader, this one want to be this. Then you don't even see what they are doing. They just want to be leader. Just the name, I'm a leader, I'm a leader. Leader to do what? I don't know. Then this struggle would have gone to extra mile. But just because of greed, people don't want to even come and talk. I mean, Somaliland is making waves today. They have one government. No country will come and recognize you with this thing that you are doing up and down. Somaliland, this is look at Somaliland being recognized by Ethiopia. Ethiopia is not a small country. Ethiopia is one of the biggest economy in Africa. Ethiopia has the best airline in Africa. What do La Republic have? That their thing they call Cameco, that nonsense there. Can you compare with the Ethiopia airline? I've entered Ethiopia airline more than 10 times. I know what I'm talking about. It's a very big airline. But remember, during the Ethiopian crisis, do you know that Ethiopia was looked down upon as a very poor nation, very poor, until you remember that song that Lapiro sang, right? You don't dry like in Shangshong for Ethiopia. You remember that song, Lapiro? They fought hard, but Eritrea, finally, Ethiopia surrendered the war. They saw the resistance, the resilience of the Eritreans. So we are saying this because countries that have struggled to impose their territorial integrity upon people by trying to impose on those people, they have not won, in the recent years. None of them, even Germany that tried, Germany could not do it. Hitler could not do it. Hitler lost all the battles. America lost in Vietnam, lost in Afghanistan. This is how many countries used to be under the Soviet Union? Think of it. How many countries used to be under Soviet Union? From Latvia, Lithuania, all this Ukraine used to be under Soviet Union. But they become independent. Because it was not going. Even when Senegal and Gambia, they used to try to live together. The two cultures was, Senegal is French, Gambia was in English. They tried to form a federation. It did not go. They had to separate. Back then they were called Senegambia. They tried, it did not go. They had to separate. This is what we are talking about. When you put two things that are not going together, this is a simple thing. Even you get married to somebody, or not all relationship goes together. You tried it in the past, it did not work. Abusive relationship, this is what we call abusive relationship, where the husband is maltreating the wife, right? Then you ask your wife, no, stay there. If you're a sister, you allow your sister to stay for that kind of relationship. It's abusive, right? But our people said in 2016, no, enough is enough. Sometimes you have to stand up for your right. And that is what we did in 2016. And after 7 years, you still see what is going on. So this is not about 2 million people, 3 million people, 5 million people. This is about 8 million and to 9 million people, Ambazonians. More than 60 countries in the world. Ambazonian land is bigger than more than 60 countries in the world. Ambazonian population is more than 100 countries in the world. Then what are you talking about? So our land area is bigger than more than how many countries? Then the population, the size of our population. How many countries has 8 million people to 9 million people? How many? So when we are talking about country that has been voted into independence, and the country is still there. Those countries that voted for independence in 1961, 1st of October, have not taken back their vote. 64 voted yes, 20 voted no. Then the other 10 voted abstention. So what are you talking about? So our independence is recognized at the United Nations. We don't have that kind of struggle that you have to even worry yourself. That's why the Republic cannot even go and sit on the negotiation table, because they don't have any signatory to show that we were even it's in Jumba married, that kind of marriage that you go and pick a girl and go and marry, put in your house, you say it's your wife, without any document, nothing. No country marriage, no traditional wedding, nothing. No white wedding, nothing. You go and carry somebody's daughter and put in your house and call your wife. That's how La Republic took us. And we have been there in that marriage for almost 60 years. The marriage is not moving. Even the small law that we even want to put together, like a federation, they don't even respect that federation. They cancel the federation. Cancel the federation. It means that they can do anything to you. The laws, our own constitution that we brought, they did not even use it. Our own parliament, they dissolve our own parliament. Our own thing, they dissolve everything. Then they say you people will never become leaders in that country. You will never be president. Then some people are saying that no, let's just stay there and be watching them. Next is Frank Biya coming. Another one, Kamto is coming. Another one. That's how they'll be coming to deal with us. When for the past 60 years, our people has the best economy, the revenue of that country combined, we provide 60%. And you know what we're talking about, 60% of the revenue. It means that the economy is booming like that because of the people of Ambazonia. But just imagine we being member of the Commonwealth, but you saw our parliamentarians are there crying that they don't even represent, they don't even use our people to represent us in Commonwealth countries, Commonwealth of Nations, you know. They don't. Every embassy in the world that we have to put our own ambassadors there, our own diplomatic mission there, represented by Ambazonians. When we want to open this one year, people say, oh, we don't have a country, we don't have a this. Then you tend to ask yourself, what were you people fighting for? What do you call a country? A country means everything put together. You cannot have a country, then you have one thing, you don't have this one. You have this one, you don't. You say no, this one, let's hold on first. It doesn't work like that. Okay, this letter that Comrade Chris wrote is very powerful, and we are just letting our people know countries are getting their own ties with people. When we want to talk about referendum, people say, why do you want to talk about referendum? Most of these countries are having their recognition today. Even look at this is Eritrea. Look at 1993 Eritrea independent referendum. That is it. Look at it. That's Eritrea. They had their referendum in 1993. Look at it. Today, Eritrea is a country. South Sudan, referendum, 99.9999% voted for independence of South Sudan. This is checking. Look, in 1999, in a UN-sponsored referendum, an overwhelming majority of the people of East Timor voted for independence from Indonesia. So when we are talking of a referendum, people don't understand. Okay, what they understand is that we are already a country. Yes, but remember we had a referendum in 1972. No matter your argument, right? The referendum has some ties. Okay, I understand people can say, yeah, restoration, but there are times that you have to understand that the international community is working in a way that referendum is what the people, it has nothing to do with La Republica. Referendum means the people making their decision to live by themselves. And once the people vote, because it's all about the people, it's not about La Republic people, it's about Southern Cameroonians. They'll say, okay, you people voted to join in 1972. Now hold this referendum, tell us if, let's see, because La Republic's argument, this is what we're talking about. I think some of you think that when we go for a negotiation table, then they will just going to be talking this. What are you going to be talking on the negotiation table with La Republic, if not bringing this kind of substantiating thing that, okay, if you say we have lived together, we are happy together, Cameroon is one and indivisible, blah blah blah, they will tell you, okay, allow these people to decide for themselves. That's what happened in almost all this crisis. And we are not saying this because we want to say this. It is what the diplomats are saying. Okay, most diplomats you meet today, they will tell you the best way is to allow these people. You heard even Tibor Nagy saying that, right? Allow these people to make that decision for themselves. Okay, allow these people to decide for themselves. But you see, La Republic, they do not want to even celebrate their independence because they want to have that tie with us. Look! This is Mimi Mefu. You remember Mimi Mefu? That was locked up for supporting the Amazonian struggle. Now she's very careful with her writings. But look at what she said, right? Maybe they will still call her and put her in jail again. She said 1st of January each year is also a day that commemorates Cameroon's independence. Why do you think the president of the republic never mentioned this in his end of year speeches? Then he put probably a picture there and that Biafra, Bafia, this thing. Look, Place de l'Indépendance. Sometimes you ask yourself, but why are these people afraid to celebrate their independence? What is going on? It's very shameful sometimes. I mean, and when we were in primary school, that's what we did not even think, because we only have 11 February. They say you day. They change me now. They say what day, whatever day, I don't understand. But the 1st of January, this one, sayings are no problem speeches. People never mentioned it, I mean, why are you afraid to celebrate your independence? Cameroon is the only country that does not celebrate their independence. Seriously speaking, never. But you ask why? The Biya regime, they cannot even say why. But that is the truth, right? So that is what we are talking about. Okay, that they should understand. We have seen that for the past 7 years. They are instead losing, they are instead going down the train. This letter to the president that Comrade Chris Anu wrote is a very powerful one, because it reminds Biya of how peaceful we can live together as a neighbors, good neighbors. That's what we call peaceful coexistence, where we have international cooperation as two countries. Both countries will reconcile their differences. Both countries will have nation building. We will still live as neighbors. You know, the worst thing to do is to have a bad neighbor, because that neighbor, you live here, the neighbor lives next door. You always need to make peace with your neighbors. That's what we are doing, and the Republic should understand. Okay, this cooperation will help a lot in terms of economy, economic cooperation, political stability, for the regional stability. A lot of things that we were going to do together, where we will have that cultural exchange. A lot of things comes when we have this peaceful, Biya does not look at it that way. Biya is still looking at it in his own lenses. Okay, yeah, but the question still stands there. Okay, what will it take to end this conflict? Okay, yeah, anyone can quickly blame, but it's not easy to keep fighting. Just keep fighting, then people are dying on both sides. You have casualty. The military, the families are calling for an end to the crisis. People are dying on both sides every day. Okay, so that is what we are talking about. But is it going to continue like that? Okay, that is a problem. But La Republic government and the president of Biya, the president of La Republic, should think twice. If they think that they are feeling fat from this war and they want to keep fighting, good and fine. But what we see now is another 10 years of fighting, which is not benefiting anyone, right? So the earlier we go and talk, negotiation, sit down. If it's a referendum to conduct, good and fine, we'll accept that. So referendum is just like one of the options. I know our people, some people are saying that referendum is not needed, but I've shown you example of countries that fought for almost 20 years. But what happened next? They went to negotiation. What happened again? Referendum. Somaliland, referendum. All these other countries, Eritrea, referendum. East Timor, referendum. A lot of countries resolve their crisis through referendum. We are saying that because it gives chance for the people to decide their own fate, and that is good. And all countries in the world will support that direction. But any other direction, you see, that's why countries are very lukewarm when it comes to war. Nobody wants to support war. People better support a peaceful process. Like you saw Switzerland came, and you saw Canada also came, and all these countries are coming to support a peaceful process, right? So that is where we are, and we hope that La Republic Biya will go through that letter, and his people will let him to understand, because the FAMBET cartel they will not last long if they keep keeping Biya there to cause more harm than good. Okay, I saw his speech, Biya's speech, and I say, wow, this guy is not even helping the situation that is getting worse in his country. Because you cannot, instead of you giving hope to the people, you are instead telling them that you're going to cut those subsidy for fuel. If you cut fuel subsidy, how do you want the people to have cheap fuel when they rely on that fuel to cut the prices? Poverty is there, unemployment is there. You have political instability there, there's all form of corruption is there. All these things are plaguing your country. Instead of you giving your people hope, you are instead telling them that the year, is not going to be good. Okay. On the Amazonian struggle, instead of him looking at some peaceful solution, he was instead saying that he was instead thanking his military, the bees, for doing a good job. So you see the contradiction, right? But we have had series of meetings with international partners. We have had series of meetings with international organizations. We have had meetings with diplomats. All what they are telling us is what we are trying to tell Paul Biya, because once they realize that Paul Biya has become a stumbling block to peace, all this country will come and start recognizing Amazonia. Okay, because that's what we are looking at. We are not looking at, we have already restored our country. We are only looking at recognition, like Somaliland. Okay, and once they realize that Biya and the government or whoever come next in that country, I don't know, the next president keep doing what Biya is doing, all country will just start recognizing us, and that's it. And once they start recognizing us, that's it. We don't care to know what is happening there anymore. Okay, yes. So it's very important. Okay, your recognition comes with support. Okay, your recognitions come with all kinds of support that you can have. When a country say they recognize you, it means that they can come to your defense on a military base at any time. They can supply you weapon at any time. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just giving you a sneak peek of what will be coming to La Republic. Now we are giving them this kind of diplomatic hand. When you give somebody a peace, hand of peace, the person don't want to take. But we are thinking about building Amazonia. Okay, reconciliation, nation building. That's what we are thinking now. International cooperation with La Republic, how to build that. Our people. Because if La Republic does not come to terms with that, they will have themselves to blame. Why? We are a neighbor to the largest democracy in Africa and the largest economy in Africa, Nigeria. We don't even need La Republic to do anything. So, seriously speaking, we don't need La Republic for anything. For do trade, we don't need La Republic. Anything, we don't need them. But we are telling them that they will benefit from us if we have a peaceful negotiation where we can talk as people, we negotiate and come to terms as good neighbors. Okay? Because before, man, I grew up in Limbe, in Victoria back then, where I saw how business was booming. The border towns, all those border towns, Victoria, we had shipping going to Nigeria, coming back, goods were booming very cheap. Nobody was even thinking about going to buy things in Douala. Go to Mundemba, go to Mbonge, you had seaports there, goods were coming there from Manfe, all those border towns in Amazonia, bordering Nigeria. We have a very booming economy there. So this part, okay, just see for this short time that our people are now even selling cocoa and coffee in La Republic. They're going to sell in Nigeria. See how much they're buying cocoa in Nigeria. When these people are making our people suffer, farmers are suffering there. The marketing board that used to manage cocoa and coffee, this thing, marketing board, they have destroyed that company. That company is nowhere to find. They went and brought something in France, a company in France called So de Coton, So de Cacao, So de this, So de that, all that nonsense. Where is marketing board? Marketing board was the one protecting our people from producing all this cash crop and selling them with some reasonable price. Farmers were rich back then. If you have a small cocoa farm like this, you had monies because farmers were rich. Just take for example, in America, if you're a farmer, you are rich. You are rich because farming is something that people do with pride. It's not something that people are ashamed to say they are farmers. Now, because of that, farmers are ashamed to even say they are farmers because the way they have made the farming system has become so non-subsistence. It's not like what they do here where people are producing faster. They have different machines to do their farming and everything is go faster. When you compare poultry farming there and poultry farming here, fowl can lay egg like 3 times before 1 month or 2 months. They know how they have that fast growing farming system here. Our farmers, they have been broke because the government does not understand that kind of farming. The farming system is so bad that farmers don't even want to identify themselves as farmers, whereas farming is a very good profession depending on the kind of specialty of farming that you are doing.